Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I did let the game run for a little while, but it wasn't quite as long as I thought I might. So here we are. I'm thinking that we might just want to attack the Golden Horde, to be honest. So to that end, we could start justifying on them. And we can see they have other nations as subject states, yeah, but the question is, if we start doing this, are they going to have their independence guaranteed? Right? That's the question. Where to get started on it? It's going to be 10% global tension, but the tension's already maxed. So at this moment, if we look in here, 104.5 is what we've generated. What's the current overall world tension? Well, to be honest, it's mostly going to be peace deals, right? It's this peace deal primarily. Everything else is relatively minor. This is going to be ticking up to 10%. Everything else is going to be ticking down. But is it going to be going down at a rate that is higher than this going up? I don't know. But I do want to take over the Golden Horde. They are a blight upon our borders. There are many blights upon our borders, but they are one of them. So the next question is, how much steel do they have? Not much. Okay. They're probably going to be a substantially easier target than Ukraine, unless other people decide to join, which they can do at this current world tension. Yeah, it looks like our world tension is net increasing from our justification. Understood. That's absolutely fine. So if we look in here, we can see, yeah, this is ticking down, but not very fast. Right? This is going down by a very, very small amount. I think this is a month tick that these go down by. So, yeah, that's definitely significant. We've still got this from Hormuz and Mara, but that's because that wasn't ticking the entire time we were at war with Ukraine. So that is absolutely fine. There's 98.5 at this moment, and the question is what happens on the month tick here. Okay, it went down to 98.4 there, but that is a slow drift. We're probably going to be at 100% world tension for a while. The question is, who is actually going to be interested in doing anything about it that can actually stop us? I don't know, a coalition of people could probably do it. Like, if Scandinavia, France, Britain, the United States of Europe, and the United States of America teamed up against us, we'd probably have a bit of a rough go of it. I don't know how exactly that would go. We'd lose some of our outlying exclave areas, certainly, early on. Some of these down over here. But I don't know how that war would play out long term. The question is that even a risk? I don't know. We'll find out. So yeah, you can see here, this is at 98.3. So we're definitely ratcheting up the world tension more than it's drifting downward. This peace treaty is going to take 1 trillion years to fully go away. So that's understood. But if we can take out Golden Horde, that'll be a big deal. That'll push our borders over to being with Delhi here. And we're not currently defending Delhi in the slightest. The question is, should we be? I don't know. This territory out over here isn't super valuable. And we're stretched fairly thin as it is. We do have these guys out over here, which are unassigned divisions. So I want to move these guys here. These are 8 tank divisions. So we can put 2 of these into here. There we go. And then the other 4, or rather 6 of these can go in here. That maxes out these armies. Beautiful. Then what we need to do is we need to move all 12 of these guys into this army. Okay. So those get brought in and moved to the front. And I'm thinking that we might want to step up our recruitment. I'm going to double our recruitment for right now. Okay, so that's underway. The main thing is we just don't know if anyone's going to try to help the Golden Horde, right? If they do try to help the Golden Horde, we could have problems. If they don't try to help the Golden Horde, things will get a lot better. So this army group here, this army group is going to be stretched really thin, right? Yes. They do have a couple of tank units up here. This is all tank units over this way, and that's understood. So we're going to need to try to consolidate all of these fronts together into a singular front that stretches from here to here, ideally. Now, is Tajikistan going to be part of this? We should know that. No. Tajikistan is not going to be part of this. So that's actually a very big deal. And I'm assuming these guys aren't either? Correct. Okay. Will Baluchistan and Herat? I think Herat will. I don't know about Baluchistan. Baluchistan will not. This is Golden Horde here. And then Herat likely will. Yeah, they're a colony of the Golden Horde. So our justification is finished. Did anyone guarantee them? So that's the foreign war gold there. Expeditionary forces from their colonies. Improving relations, blah, 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 whatever. They're guaranteeing the independence of Ephesus. I don't care. And yeah, nobody's actually into this as of right now. So I kind of want to just declare this. Done. So here's the thing. We're going to lose Delhi. We're not even attempting to defend it. That's fine for right now. The goal here is that these guys up over here, that is this army group, they are going to immediately start to push out to here. Like that. That's their goal. I want this force down here, which is relatively weak and overstretched. I want them to attempt to push to here, with the goal being to hopefully prevent the fall of Delhi by getting there fast enough, but I doubt that's going to actually be a thing. We'll see what happens with that. And then we've got these infantry up here. And I'm not expecting too much out of them for right now. Perhaps for the moment, we just move up and take this mountain range and then knock Greater Bashkiria out of the war. Something about like this. And meet up about here, like that. Again, we'll see what ends up actually happening with this. This could be spicy. There's a very, 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 very long front, but I think we have a numerical advantage, and we almost certainly have an army experience advantage. So there's that. Our initial attacks are going well. These guys were not told to attack. Now they're told to attack. Okay. So our initial attacks here are going to go well. Now, they're almost certainly going to be trying to push out into Delhi, out over this direction. And Scandinavia is inviting us to a faction with them. The Middle Eastern Confederation. Huh. An interesting thought, Scandinavia. But I think for now, I'm going to decline. I don't see a reason. Golden Horde already broke our ciphers. That's impressive. They must have had that ready to go already. So we're going to work on that ourselves. There we go. And we're just pressing in over this way. Yeah, as we can see, they're pushing into Delhi. This is not at all surprising. We just want to shrink these lines, and this is quite a salient here, actually. This is very bad for them. They just had a pretty big encirclement over here. And we're going to get that taken care of. Excellent. So no problem whatsoever with that one. And our front line isn't extended quite as far as it should be here. There we go. So we're just going to continue to work on pushing in over here. We do see that we have, I think, made a little progress with our infantry, but what we're mostly looking for... Oh, look at this. This is an encirclement. What we're mostly looking for here is our tanks to get heavy progress pushing in. The dawn of the European Entente. That's Herat, Greater Bashkiria, Hamadan, and 3 others, with Z16. Okay. So I'm just looking at the capitals out over here to see if we're at war with any of them. I think that's Golden Horde's colonies, to be honest. I'm not terribly concerned about it. And we're just going to continue to push in here. So Z16 joined the Golden Horde. Z16 is where? Ah. I don't care. That's fine. They can do that if they like. So we're still working on getting these guys eliminated. There's 16 units here. Get in here. Wipe them out. Perfect. They held out a little longer than I had hoped. So Herat joined and Greater Bashkiria joined, which is not surprising at all. We expected both of those. In fact, I thought that they were already in it. They weren't. That's fine. So we've got these encircled here. We'll get them eliminated. And you can get in here too. Perfect. So there's that done, and this army is not assigned to any, or has units not assigned to anything at this moment. So they should be assigned to the army group, and that's absolutely okay. So these guys, they now need to have their front line stretched to here. This is now one unified front out over this way. And that's understood. I'm wondering if the tanks over here are stretched all the way. That's a negative. In fact, there's some awkwardness going on here. Yes, there's some awkwardness going on over here. So that's these guys. This should be our infantry force down here as well. And then this is our tank force. So I'm going to delete all of these and be like, okay, guys, you need to just be on one singular front here, like this. So one unit here and one unit here like that. Then we're going to have the tanks, and these guys are still assigned to attack like this, which is fine. I want the tanks to still be pushing up to, like, this point here, like that. Okay, so that'll be fine for the moment. They're going to need to redeploy pretty heavily for that. That's understood. And our progress out over here is relatively minor. We do have these guys encircled. So let's get them taken care of. Perfect. They called in Hamadan. Okay, that's a little awkward. That kind of broke our fronts again. So I'm just going to delete these once more. Get out of here. And we're going to recreate this front one more time. So we're just going to do something kind of like that. These guys' mission is to offensive line basically like this, but I mean, yeah, just get up to the Tajikistan border for now. That'll be fine. We're going to lose Delhi territory. That's absolutely understood. So then these guys, once again, their goal is to offensive line. Basically, I mean, this is fine. They can offensive line like that. Okay. So that seems good. We're going to get into position here and continue to push in. But we do have some redeployment to do. And again, we're going to lose all of this Delhi territory. We didn't even try to defend it. So for right now, that is fine. I don't know what this line up here is, but it shouldn't exist. So we're going to get rid of that, and that seems fine for right now. Okay, so our infantry attacks up over here are going to be very slow. Our main thrust is our armored attack down here. And that armored attack is going to continue to happen here. I'm just thinking, we can get down to here and surround these guys. It's not a huge encirclement, but it's useful, for sure. Okay, let's take them out of there. And I'm going to actually remove one of these tanks from this, about like that. So supplies might become a bit of an issue. I want to check up over here and see how our supplies are. They're not terrible in the south. In the north, they start to get quite a lot worse. Okay, but that will help matters. Cool. So that looks good for now. And Hamadan is going to fall pretty soon. They just called in Thrace. Thrace is right here. So we do need to pull a couple of forces to go deal with Thrace. I'm going to grab these 3 armored units over here, and they're going to come in and frontline just right here. And their goal is to offensive line like this. I don't know if Thrace even has a military, but we'll get them pulled on over. So it'll take them a little bit to get there, and we'll get that dealt with. That we absolutely do need to handle. So Hamadan is going to fall very shortly here, and we're just continuing to push out over this way. They're still trying to push into Delhi here. Their Hamadan capitulated, which is no shocker. Okay. So, just go in. Yeah. Cool. So Thrace has capitulated, and these guys need to get back over to this order. Perfect. Herat has capitulated as well. No shockers there. And we'll just continue to push in over this direction. Now, Baluchistan is not in this. So anyone that's down here, we need to just push in and get this little pocket taken care of. I also see this right out over here. That's very awkward, but we need to get that done. Okay, so we overran them. And then these guys are now heading back to the front. Looks perfect. Okay, so that's looking fine. What we need to do now, of course, is we need to push up this corridor. That is of vital importance. But everything is going very well as of this moment. We have taken a few losses, no doubt about it. But everything is looking pretty okay. I'm wondering about supplies out over in this area. It's not ideal for sure, but there are a number of hubs out over this way. The rail lines are in a bit of a state, but we can definitely make use of this for now. And if we end up having a momentum stall, then we can start looking at getting some of this dealt with. But for now, I want to make sure that this hub is good and this hub is good. This is a very important hub here. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the rail line that connects this hub in with our main network, about like that. Okay, so we'll get going on that. Looks good. How are things looking in the north? It's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. So that seems fine, and we'll just continue to push into Herat. And at this moment, yeah, we can see they've just about taken over all of Delhi, which is what we expected. So this is fine. What we really need more than anything, though, is to cut off this corridor here, and that's exactly what our goal here is. So we're just tying up some forces along in the north. This is not our primary focus, of course. We'll get that handled eventually, but for right now, we just want to get these 2 areas split asunder. That's the real goal at this moment. So this is looking fine. I do see that this is an impassable area right here, which is a little awkward. But what that does give us is this force down over here. So I'm going to have these guys offensive lining down like that. So they should just immediately start driving through this and getting that all taken care of. And their goal overall is going to be to take over this entire region. So that seems good. In the meantime, we're working on closing the gap up over this way. That seems fine. We did just encircle another 10 divisions here. Get rid of them. Perfect. What's their losses like so far? 2 million to our 700,000. Okay. That's not bad. I mean, we have taken a good number of losses. That's for sure. Logistics out over here are not great, but we are very, very close to a hub. Hang on. Is this just an undefended logistics hub here? Well, it's taking us a while to get there. They could have defended this if they chose to. But we just got it. We've been embargoed by Portugal. I don't care. So that's going to give us a lot of additional supply through here once we get this railroad into a decent state. So we're going to need to upgrade this railroad, and I'm going to upgrade down through here until we get down to our main railroad trunk, which is out over this way. And we can just upgrade it like that. And that will get us another good railroad section out over here. We're, of course, still waiting for this railway connection here to get changed over in gauge. And that's going to be what gives us actual supply over here. So this will be done soon enough, in theory. Emphasis on in theory. One of these days. It's not this day. Okay, how long until this is done? It's not telling me in the tooltip, which is odd. Well, we have reinforcements on the way in over here. They are trying to take this desperately, and our reinforcements are coming. I think we hold here. We're now getting supplies here. Okay, beautiful. So we do, of course, need to get this going. There we go. And for now, I want to check in on where we are here. Okay, so we have cut this off. Look at this. We've got 11 additional divisions here that are encircled. And then these guys out over here, they're doing fairly well. Get down here. And then we've got these guys over here. Perfect. And I'm going to have, well, we're going to want to have some people over here at some point. Let's have these guys just hang out over here for the moment. And they are going to look to offensive line all the way down to there. Okay, so let's get that going. And we'll get all of this under control here. So I want these guys to start making their way up over here. Perfect. We'll get those all under control. There we go. And then we don't have very many troops over here, but that's probably okay. We can then have these armies out over here start to push in this way and try to get a little bit more grouped up. Also, we're currently leaving this open. Let's attack here. And that should solve it. Cool. So that seems fine for right now. We need to link up this front again. There's some very awkward situations going on over here. But these guys, they don't have much for supply out over here. That's for sure. I want more than 3 divisions here, I feel like. I kind of want to take this entire army and put them on this. So we'll get some more reinforcements over there. That's fine for now. We're continuing to push up northward here, but supplies are becoming a problem. We're outrunning our logistics a little bit, which is not terribly shocking. Let's go ahead and get some logistics out over this way, but this is going to be a bit of an issue. Let's get some rail line connecting over this way to some of our better rail connections. Kind of like that. Okay. So that'll be fine for the moment, and we're just continuing to push into Golden Horde here. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we can get this linked back up here. Actually, yeah, that worked perfectly. And we're going to have these guys push in out over this way. So their goal is going to be to offensive line simply to about here. Excellent. And we'll see about getting that all taken care of. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.